sure.
Now that you've played against this year's top rookies, where do you stack up?
We've all got a long ways to go before we reach our full potential. But I feel like I'm trending in the right direction, you know? Those players that you're talking about, excellent players for sure. But
Sure, but aren't you the most excellent player?
well, you said it, not me. But, you know, what I will say is we've had a lot of success against these guys. And as long as I'm winning, I'm good.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
I got a good one.
Don't tell me y'all having a party without me.
MP.
What's going on?
Thank you both. We'll talk soon. Second half of the season's coming up. We want to finish strong.
Right? Every moment matters. We need to be laser focused on our goals 24/7.
I'm right there with you, Coach.
Yeah, well, we all know what we're striving for as a team at this point, but we want to continue pushing you to develop your game as an individual.
Exactly. No matter how good you are, you can always be better.
I'm with it. So what are we going to do? We're going to choose another personal goal like we did first half?
That's right. Why don't you show them the list, Coach?
Pick a goal and we'll get to work.
All right, setting you goals for the second half of the season. I had a lot to choose between, all of the available ones, personal goals. And the one I have right now is up and coming. That's because I ended the rookie matchup one. And after all the decision making that I was thinking of doing with all of these personal goals, I decided to go with the dime dropper one. So let's get it.
I want to focus on my playmaking. It's always been a strength of mine, but I feel like I can take it to another level.
Yep, I agree. You've got untapped potential there, and it's my job to unlock it. You're just scratching the surface.
Hold on, I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment, Coach.
It's a challenge. Your playmaking makes the entire team better, and if I can unlock even 10% more of that, it'll make us 20, 30% better.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that was a compliment.
I'm going to be pushing you hard, MP.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be focusing on how you match up against the league's elite defenses. If you're serious about getting better, it's not going to happen against the bottom feeders. This is hard work.
Well, the magic is in the work. You know I'm ready.
Fantastic. Sounds like we're in total alignment.
Just remember, every moment matters. Give everything you've got to this and you'll be rewarded.
Trade deadline has already passed, and there are a lot of trades that a lot of teams did not expect to do. The first one I'm going to talk about is about the guy who just scored twice on the first few clips that I showed. Safe to say, the Miami Heat saga is finally over. Jimmy Butler is now free from Florida, as he wanted to do. Like, it's been a thing that he's been trying to do for the last month or so. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, here are the trade details that happened during the trade. So, it consisted of 5 teams. The Miami Heat is one of them, of course. And the other 5 teams are the Golden State Warriors, the Toronto Raptors, the Detroit Pistons, and the Utah Jazz. So, it sent Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors, which results in the Heat getting Andrew Wiggins, PJ Tucker, and Kyle Anderson. But it sent Kyle Anderson to the Toronto Raptors initially until it got vetoed eventually. So Kyle Anderson ended up staying with the Heat. And the Pistons got Lindy Waters. The Utah Jazz initially got Dennis Schroeder, but sadly the Jazz decided not to keep Dennis Schroeder because they wanted to focus on developing Isaiah Collier and some of the other rookies that they have, Kyle Filipowski and Cody Williams as well, but he's injured right now, so he's not gonna get a lot of that development as of right now. He will soon enough. And it wasn't the only trade the Miami Heat made after sending away Jimmy Butler. They also had another one with the Raptors, which sent Davion Mitchell to Miami as well. So all in all, it's not really a bad trade for the Heat in my opinion, because while they might have lost Jimmy Butler and his alpha dog mentality, they did get 3 valuable defensive-minded players back, because they all can fit Eric Spoelstra's system. Like, you already know Eric Spoelstra is a huge defensive-minded coach, and he always preaches defense, just like most other coaches in the league. When you play defense, you're going to be in the game for a long time, and that's why Eric Spoelstra is regarded as one of the greatest coaches in this generation. And the reason why I feel like it's not a bad trade is because Andrew Wiggins is a two-way star in his own right. He may not have the alpha dog mentality as some superstars have, but his skill sets are very viable for any team. Kyle Anderson, while he may not be as fast-footed, there's a reason why he's named slow-mo by some of his peers. His defensive instincts are top-notch. Like, he can use his length to bother other teams a lot. He can play big, and he can guard like the opposing team's center at times whenever he plays small ball. And Davion Mitchell is a known pest. You've seen it in his Sacramento days. He's one of the best guard defenders. He may not get much recognition as of now, but you know Eric Spoelstra is going to unleash the hell out of Davion Mitchell. He's going to be really good for them. So all in all, not a bad trade. They got some good pieces, essentially replacing Jimmy Butler's production, but it's not going to feel the same because Jimmy Butler just brought something so much different for the Heat during his entire tenure there. Like, there's a reason that the Heat were able to go to 2 finals, NBA finals, when Jimmy Butler was with them. The Heat were super determined to beat us in this game. We were on a 11-game winning streak before we faced off against them. They were making every shot. Like, look at the score. They don't score as much in real life because of their grit and grind mentality. They don't play fast a lot. They always play to their own pace. And they have 123 points right now. As I get off an and one, I made over Jovic. Getting to the free throw line, and I complete the 3-point play. We're down by 4. 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Jimmy Butler. And man, it's going to feel weird to see Jimmy Butler in a Golden State Warriors jersey. We just watched him playing his first game in a Warriors uniform, and in my opinion, the Warriors already found their new inside-outside offensive duo in Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler respectively. People have been coming up with names for that duo. The best one that I have found so far is the Chef and the Butler. Because think about it, Chef Curry and Jimmy, whose last name is Butler, that's definitely the 2 people that would be serving in most rich people's homes. Like, it makes so much sense. And this game is over by then. They score 130. Just didn't have it. Our win streak comes to an end. Next game is against the Suns. And it turns out that the deal that I mentioned in the last video, it has been shut down by Kevin Durant himself. Turns out that KD didn't want to be traded away, and it also turns out that he had a lot more problems with the Bay Area as initially we thought, because we know how badly things ended with him and the Warriors during his last year there. That was the season where he ruptured his Achilles in the NBA Finals against the Raptors, and it just hasn't really felt the same for Golden State since then. They were on the brinks of a much longer dynasty than they should have had. But a lot of circumstances just did not go very well. Like KD just didn't want to stay. He wanted to prove even more that he can win a championship being the leader of a team. But frankly, he had a lot of chances with Oklahoma City. He messed them up in several years. The most egregious one being in the 2016 West Finals, where the Thunder had a 3-1 lead against the Warriors, and they lost the last 3 games, meaning they couldn't even make it to the NBA Finals. That was their chance. They could have pulled off the upset of the century because the Warriors had a 73-win season. That was the best regular season record of all time, surpassing the 71-72 Bulls. And they couldn't even get it done. And what makes it worse is that when the Warriors ended up getting their 3-1 lead blown in the NBA Finals, it's insane. And Durant signed with Golden State in that infamous offseason. Everybody sent him a lot of hate. A lot of Thunder fans were super upset. They felt like he betrayed them because, let's get this, he was the one that put Oklahoma City on the map. Almost like Vince Carter with the Toronto Raptors. That KD-Russ duo was something special. It was such a shame that they weren't able to make it to farther heights. And ever since then, Westbrook has won an MVP but hasn't exactly had the playoff success that he would have wanted him to have. And Westbrook is on the near end of his career. He's been one of the reasons also as to why Denver has been redeeming themselves, but his explosiveness can only hold so much. And yeah, that was a complete waste of potential. Because they're a small market team looking to aspire for new heights. Because small market teams don't often get that much success compared to the larger market teams, because the smaller market teams don't get enough recognition from the national media, which would mean the league could be out to kind of screw them over. People might attack me for this, but there's just some sort of conspiracy that are being against the small market teams. KD has been torching us in this entire game, and for some reason they double team off of him. Doesn't make any sense. In real life, no team would ever double team the lead ball handler and someone out of the post when he's attacking a mismatch just to leave the best shooter on the floor wide open for 3. Because while they can make contested threes, which you should live with, having them shoot a wide open 3 is even more deadlier than that. The only time you can leave them open is if they're not exactly a threat from deep. There's a reason why teams scout who's the best shooter on the floor at all times, and they usually play it by the percentages. And there's a chance that they would take their chances when they leave, let's say, a sub 35% shooter from 3 open. They would let the 30% shooter shoot it instead of the one shooting nearly 40% from 3. Shot clock winding down. I tried to send help defense on Kevin Durant. He gets blocked by Kessler. But with the time running down, Bol makes it over me. That was some cheese right there. We were playing excellent defense. It's just that they make a cheese shot at the end. KD continues to kill us with his offensive game. We're down by 13. Time is not our friend. They leave John Collins wide open. He misses it from the corner. And things are not looking very good for us because we just cannot stop Kevin Durant. He gets the ball again. He gets to the paint again. And now we're down by 15. So I had to call a timeout. And I had to skip all the way to the 3-minute mark because we were playing very much hurry up offense as Lauri Markkanen gets wide open from 3 on the down screen. Can we come back from down 13 with 3 minutes left? I don't know. We just have to make sure Kevin Durant doesn't score. I'm trying to guard Bradley Beal out here. It's not like he's the one killing us today. I tried to contest that. And then we just give up an offensive rebound to Yusuf Nurkic. He got traded to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Vasilij Micic and Cody Martin. He just wasn't being utilized by the Suns anymore. Last year he was kind of decent, but this year he's been straight up bad. He stopped getting minutes ever since then, and that's why the Suns just had to trade him straight away. We lost that game against the Suns, but the next few clips, they're going to be against rebuilding teams, the Nets and Hornets respectively. Oh, and look at that right there. That's the Jordan Poole go-to shot. I decided to change from Darius Garland initially to that one because I've been getting a lot more space creations using these animations, and you'll see that go-to shot at work once again. I'm being guarded by Ben Simmons, doing a lot of size-up moves, and I make a 3 over him. That's a 6'10 elite perimeter defender, but that game went down to the wire because look at Nick Claxton. You're going to see the amount of cheese that he's going to be sending us in the next few clips. Look at him. Look at him in the right corner. He pulls up for 3 and he makes it. You don't see him shoot 3s very often. And this is why it came as a surprise. Other than that though, the Nets have been making some changes as of the last few weeks. They did get D'Angelo Russell back. He got traded for Dorian Finney-Smith because the Lakers just didn't feel like D'Lo was doing enough for them. There were times where JJ Redick just did not like him at all, and it was weird because JJ Redick has been as brutally honest as he was possible, but it feels like he's been putting that brutal honesty more on D'Angelo Russell, and it's so weird because it's like D'Lo is getting the reverse favoritism, and while everyone else on the team has been getting their own fair share of criticisms, it's like he has a special kind of hatred for D'Lo, and that's why the Lakers moved on from D'Angelo Russell, and D'Lo expressed his happiness as to why he's in the Nets right now. He literally said in a press conference that he's not gonna take this freedom for granted, and that was about that. There have been a lot of sweepstakes in the trades for Cam Johnson, only for the Nets not to move him because Cam Johnson has been having an excellent season. He's having career highs across the boards in points, and he's being regarded as one of the best shooters right now in terms of movement shooting, even spot-up shooting. A lot of teams, mainly contenders, wanted to get him because they feel like he would help their team out significantly. Mainly because he has the experience. He was part of that Suns team that made the finals back in 2021. But the Nets decided not to move on from him. They were just not satisfied with all of the trade deals that was being made. And at the end of the game, just look at that. I pass it off to Walker Kessler for a pick and roll to give us the lead. Cam Thomas, I block his half-court shot for the win. That was a game winner right there for Kessler. That was a good win. I was playing my experiment lineups as well. Next up is against the Charlotte Hornets, doing one of my favorite Kyle Lowry sidestep jumpers. That's the reason why I always have the Kyle Lowry hop jumpers. It's been my favorite one ever since 2K23. It's just sad that I couldn't equip that in the last game because it just wasn't available. But speaking of the Hornets actually had a deal that was done with the Lakers yet again. They were supposed to trade for Mark Williams, and they were supposed to get Dalton Knecht, who has been one of the Lakers' best rookies in this season, and Cam Reddish as well. Cam Reddish has been greatly underwhelming. He had a lot of potential back in his Hawks days, and I had a lot of faith in him. But nowadays, I'm just losing every bit of faith in Cam Reddish to be a positive NBA player going forward. His ego has been the main reason as to why. He always feels like he needs a big role, and he hasn't exactly proven that. So that's the reason as to why he couldn't make it as far as some of the other players did. It would actually turn out that the trade would actually be rescinded. And the reason as to why it has been rescinded is because someone has failed a physical examination. And that player in question turned out to be Mark Williams. He did have a injury in his back like a few games before that, but that's not even the reason as to why that trade failed to push through. The Hornets are in deep trouble because they haven't made the playoffs in consecutive years now. They're playing games in their first 2 years that it's been implemented have been very underwhelming. None of their games have been competitive, and it's been consecutive years of missed playoffs and no improvements whatsoever. Even the hiring of Charles Lee, who feels like a coach that's willing to hold players accountable, because he was part of that coaching staff that won the NBA championship last year. But then a lot of injuries have been happening. Trey Mann, who the Thunder traded to the Hornets for Gordon Hayward, has been injured and he's out for the season. LaMelo Ball has been missing a lot of games for the past couple of years, and we don't even know how well they're going to be able to play or how healthy they're going to be. Not to mention Brandon Miller, who just threw it down the session before. He's out for the season with a right wrist surgery. So this is a huge blow for his development. He's been having a great season. He's in year number 2. He was supposed to be part of the Rising Stars game, but it's just unfortunate he's going to have to sit it out. We take a contested 3 with 15 seconds to go. Walker Kessler misses the putback. Less than 10 seconds left. They don't even call a timeout. LaMelo Ball chucks it from deep. They need a 3, and they had to pass it to Cody Martin. He misses it. We win by 3 points on a thriller. It's been back-to-back thrillers against the Nets and the Hornets, 2 tanking teams. And man, it was closer than it should have been. But I'm glad that we're able to take the win either way. So with 30 seconds, and look, another fail. I'm at 11, 10 seconds to go. I'm still at 2 stars. Oh, another fail. I'm at 12. Come on, 5 seconds. I am so lucky enough to get the 3rd star at the end of that workout. So that was so much different.